Okay, so today we're going to do a lesson on making inferences, and that's something that you have practiced before. We've talked about it before. Today our I will statement is I will use background knowledge and context clues to make an inference. So we're going to use what we already know, and we're going to use what we're reading in the text, like clues from our stories or passages or sentences we're given to make an inference. Okay? So when we make one, we're going to take our clues from the text plus our schema. Do you know what schema is? No. Schema is kind of like what you already know, the information that you already have in your brain, and we're going to put those things together, and we're going to make an inference. And the reason we do that is to help us understand our text. Okay? So we're going to practice with this book. It's called What Do You Do with a Tale Like This? Raise your hand if you've read this book before. You've seen it?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you a picture of an animal tale, a few animal tales. Okay? Without saying anything, I just want you to look, make some inferences. Okay? Think about what you already know, think about what you see in the picture, and decide what animal these tales belong to. Just take a second to think about it. Okay? When you have at least one idea, show me with your thumb. If you have more than one, show me with your fingers. How many ideas you have? How many of these animals can you identify? Using picture clues and what you already know. Okay? All right. Hudson, what's one animal that you can identify?
Scorpion.
Okay. How did you identify that's a scorpion? Because it doesn't tell you it's a scorpion, right? So how do you know that's a scorpion?
I know scorpions have like they have cracks in them.
Okay. Like the segmented parts of their tail? All right. Brennan, what's another one?
Like giraffe.
Okay. How did you identify that's a giraffe? Because it doesn't tell us this is a giraffe. Okay. So you use the clues from the picture and what you already know about what a giraffe looks like. All right. Cameron,
A skunk.
how do you know that's a skunk? Okay, so you're using what you already know about a skunk, and you're using clues from the picture. Grayson, what's another one? Which one do you think is a monkey tail? Okay, why do you think that? Okay, what about the color? Does that help you?
Yeah.
If it was red, would you think it was a monkey tail?
No.
No, because we know that monkey tails wouldn't be red, right? Does anybody have an idea about this one? Caden,
It's a lizard.
why do you think a lizard tail?
Because some of them have long big
Okay.
nails. Snake.
Think it's a snake tail? Why do you think a snake tail?
Because snakes are like wiggly and they are usually like they're hard to tell, and that one's hard to tell
Okay.
what it is.
All right, so y'all just all made inferences. That's what you've done. You've done it with pictures here, but you looked at something that the text gave you, which was our picture, and you used your schema, or what you already know, to make some inferences about what you think these animals are. Do y'all want to check and see if you're correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. All right, take a second and look. How many of you were correct? Yeah? How many of you got all of them correct? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Brennan, you said that tail looks like a giraffe, and your inference was correct. And Cameron, you said this looked like a skunk tail, right? So your inference was correct. Kaden, you said a lizard. Good. And Hudson, you told us that looked like a scorpion. So were you correct? Yep. And Grayson, you told us this looked like a monkey tail. Were you correct? Okay, so that's all inferencing is. We use what the text gives us and what we already know, and we come up with some ideas. Okay? So let's practice with some text now. Instead of pictures, we're going to read these statements, and we're going to ask, what can you infer from this statement? Okay, this is your first one. Everybody listen. Raul always carries a guitar with him. So I want you to take a couple seconds and think. When you have an answer, you can show me like this. Okay? Now, I've given you a sentence stem to start with. I can infer. So I want you to start your answer like that. Okay? So what can you infer from this statement? Raul always always carries a guitar with him? Matthew,
That he's probably
use your sentence, Tim.
I can infer that he's in a band.
Okay, I can infer that he's in a band. Does anybody have a different inference? Amber?
I can infer that he knows how to play guitar.
Very good. Now, these are two separate inferences, right? They're different. Are either one of them incorrect? No. An inference is your idea about something, okay? Using the information you're given and what you already know. Let's practice another one. Y'all do good with that. It says, I hear a loud thwack as the ball leaves the ballpark and the crowd roars with cheers. So when you have your inference ready, show me like this. All right, Cody, what can you infer?
That somebody hit a home run.
Okay, so let's do it with our sentence stem.
I can infer that someone hit a home run in baseball.
Good. All right. How many of you had that same inference? Okay. How many of you know a lot about baseball? Maybe you play baseball, you watch baseball, maybe your dad likes to watch baseball on TV or go to baseball games. Okay, so you already have some background knowledge about that, and you're using that to help you draw an inference there. All right, so these are kind of small, so I'm going to read it to you, and I just want you to listen, okay? Because as we go through our grades, we don't just have one simple sentence, right? When we're taking our reading test, usually our passages are a little bit longer. So let's practice with a little bit more text and see if we can do the same thing. It says, the Canadian province of Quebec was originally settled by French fur traders. Eventually, cities grew to support the fur trade, and as a result, other industries, such as logging, became the main source of income for residents. So here it says, based on this passage, you can infer that some residents of Quebec may speak which language? So think about what we read, and maybe a little bit about what you know about different languages. And do you think the people in Quebec might speak French, Spanish, or English? Show me when you know. Okay, Aiden, what do you think?
French.
Why do you say French?
Because it, in the passage it says settled by French.
Good. So they're from France, and they were French fur traders. Does it ever say that they spoke French? It doesn't tell us that, but we have to infer that because they were French fur traders, they probably speak French. Good. And what background knowledge did you use to determine the answer? We kind of talked about that. We know that people from France speak French. Good. Let's try one more. Carrots are an excellent source of retinol. Retinol is a pure form of vitamin A and is essential for good vision and strong teeth. It is often found in foods such as eggs, liver, and fish. For vegetarians, the best source of retinol is carrots. Okay? So based on this passage, what can you infer about the amount of retinol in eggs, liver, and fish? Do you think it's the same or greater than the amount of carrots? Is it less than the amount of carrots? Or do you think eggs, liver, and fish do not contain retinol? I'll give you a second to think. Show me when you know. Okay, what do you think?
It's the same or greater amount than the carrots.
Okay, and why do you say that?
Because eggs, liver, and fish are different. They all come from animals,
Okay.
and if the carrots come from the ground, it's not gonna have
Okay, good explanation. All right, and it tells us, it says for vegetarians, carrots is really the best option. Okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is, in just a minute, you're gonna go back to your desk and you're gonna practice a couple on your own, and I'm gonna walk around, and if you need any help, raise your hand and let me know, and I'll help you with your passage and kind of get you on the right track to make your inference, okay? All right, boys, head back to your desk. Girls, you can head back to your desk.